Welcome to 24-Hour Guy. Today I wanted to talk about this little watch here that I got for about $77 on eBay, brand new, shipped to my house. It's a Seiko5 SNK355. Now, the reason why I bought this watch is because I've started to wear a suit more and more often. And I really didn't have anything that sort of fit under a suit shirt. It would slide under the cuff easily. I have all these big watches. Now, of course, I would love to get a Rolex Datejust 36, which I find to be one of the most versatile and timeless watches ever made. However, that would cost upward of $9,000 US, and a good clean vintage piece, like the one pictured, would cost $3,000 to $5,000. You can get a vintage Oyster Perpetual date for under $2,000, which the dial on this Seiko resembles tremendously. However, the Rolex Oyster Perpetual date comes in a 34mm case, which I find to be just too small for my 7-inch wrist. This Seiko is 37mm, and I feel like it looks fantastic. Now, there are a couple of things that I don't really like about it. We'll talk about that. One is, as with all Seikos that you get, until you start getting into some of the Presage line, or you get into Grand Seiko, those will come with a Sapphire, and then Grand Seiko is even going to have an anti-reflective coating on it. However, it comes with a Hardlex crystal, which is basically just glass. There's no anti-reflective coating in there to help you see that beautiful dial. It's going to scratch. You walk up a set of stairs and bump it against the brick wall one time, you're going to have 3 giant scratches in the glass there. The other thing I don't like is this bracelet. It's got rolled steel, which if you're looking at like a vintage Datejust, some of those did come with rolled steel links, but eventually everybody has transitioned to solid links. If you think about what Seiko's making this for, this is an entry-level watch to get you started into automatics. There's nothing wrong with rolled steel. Ultimately, the bracelet's going to last forever. The watch will last forever if you take good care of it. You could literally pass this down. And that's one of the other things I like about Seiko. So it's understandable that to keep a watch in a low price range, you might give it the more traditional items that you would have had on it in the 1960s. You've got a reliable automatic movement. However, it's not hackable, and it's not hand-windable, but it's not bad. It's reliable. It's nice to look at as far as, the sweeping second hand. But the bracelet. So what I want to do, I want to upgrade this a little bit. I saw a picture of a classic Datejust with a smooth bezel on a Jubilee bracelet, and it just looked fantastic. And I thought, well, I wonder if this, how nice this would look with the same setup. And I decided I'm going to do 2 things. I found a 18mm Jubilee bracelet on Etsy for $20. This bracelet's got solid links, has the hollow links as you would expect, and you kind of need, because it needs to be able to fit lots of different watches. It's pretty smooth and it's beautiful. It looks just like what you would see on a Datejust. It was only $20. The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace the crystal. I don't like that crystal. I want to be able to see the dial better. And Seiko has so many options out there on the internet with a huge mod community for modifying Seikos. So I'm going to get an AR-coated crystal to put in there to be able to see that dial better and to just keep it beautiful longer. I just don't want to wear a scratched up crystal watch in my suit. So to do this, we need to do a couple of things. We need to be able to take out the movement, take off the crown, take out the movement, push out the crystal, measure the crystal, then order one. There's lots of places online. One is Crystal Time. if they don't have them, there's other places. To do that, you'll need to get a watch case press. Now, these come with all these different size discs that you, or I don't know what you would call them. You put one down here and one up here, and you press that crystal right out. And then you can also turn it around and press the new crystal back into the watch case. You can get this for less than 15 bucks shipped to your house on eBay or Amazon. So to do that, the first thing we need to do is take off this bracelet. So I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, and then the next thing we need to do is take off the back. Now with this thing, you just have to size it. This little crank here. So this whole kit that you can get with a watch opener, movement holder, case holder, different tools, you can get that for like 20 bucks or less. However, I will say that the screwdrivers that came with it were pretty bad. They twisted pretty bad. They wouldn't turn a screw, so I ended up springing for $49 set of screwdrivers that are really good. I'm gonna switch and put on some gloves here because I don't want to touch the movement or the face of the dial with get any wools from my hands on it. Alright. View here to show you where it is on the movement that you're gonna need to press in order for the crown to come out. And I've got a really tiny screwdriver here. There's this little tiny dot right here. That dot is what you need to press down. It's a lever. This lever right here. And you push down on this dot, and that allows the crown to just, it's let go. All you have to do is just grab it with your fingernail, but you gotta do it with the crown still in. Don't pull the crown out like you're gonna set the time. You gotta leave it in because that's where this is exposed so you can see it. Otherwise it moves when you pull the crown out. Alright, so I'm gonna press down on that little dot. The lever moves. And the crown slides right out. There it is. I'll just set that aside. And now the movement should tap out. Put it on this little cushion here. There we go. And then we'll just set it under a glass to keep it from getting dirt on it. And move it aside. And I'm gonna make sure I got the right size. Let's go this way. So this one will go in here. And then we just set that in there. Gonna give it a hand, hold it still. Make sure that this is gonna line up all the way around. Looks like it is. And then just press firmly. Well, that actually pushed the whole bezel off. So I'll need to press the bezel back on. As you can see here, crystal popped right out. And you can see the slightly beveled edge there for the top. Alright, so you can see inside there, there's a crystal gasket, that sort of white area. And I'll give it a little look over to make sure it still looks good. Alright, so what we want to do is take this crystal, we need to measure it. So we got 29 by 1.1. This caliper is known to be off by 0.1, so it's probably 1. So now we just need to go on the internet and find a 29 by 1 crystal. All right, so I've ordered a crystal. Crystal Time didn't have one in stock of the size I needed, so I was able to find one from a place in the UK. So for about $30, I was able to get a blue AR coated sapphire glass, 29mm, 1mm thick. Let's take it out and look at it first. Now there's a little bevel right there, so that's going to be the top. Set it on the case, sort of try to get it started. Now I need one that's big enough to support the case itself, which this will do. And then we need one that is nearly the same size. So where's our 28? Here's a 28. Nearly the same size as the crystal itself, although that 30 would probably do it. You want to get as much to the edge as possible. I'm just going to hold it in place. Just press gently. Turn. You can see that it's seated pretty well here, but not so much on this side still. So we definitely need to keep going. Keep in mind, this is my first time doing this. Y'all are lucky enough to see it. No practice. So hopefully I don't break it. Pretty well seated now. Looking good. So I'm gonna clean it off. Make sure there's nothing on there. Clean off the inside. Now we'll take the movement. Touching it. This is another item that came with that set. These tweezers. Pretty well lined up. Make sure I don't see any crazy dust in there. But I can already tell that that dial just looks so much better right now. So clear. Sapphire is so much more clear and pretty to look at compared to Hardlex. Make sure this crown's in the way it's supposed to be and it's not going to come right back out. Make sure I can actually pop it out. Set the time. Alright, that looks good. Now I can put the case back on. Make sure the back side of this is clean. Off. Let's get a look at it. And I can see a piece of dirt. Can you imagine that? Look at the size of that too. Right there. Sitting right on top of the dial. So now I gotta take it apart again. And get that out of there. Alright, 5 minutes later, and the dust is gone. Whatever that was. It's out of there. And I think we look pretty amazing. So now I'm gonna try to fit this Jubilee bracelet, and then I'll show you a finished product. Alright everybody, so I got the bracelet switched out. The bracelet itself is it's wonderful. It's very comfortable. So now we got a sapphire crystal there. I think it's great. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And I mean, this watch has been, before this bracelet and crystal were put on there, from across the room, it's been mistaken for, you know, a vintage Datejust. It's only when you get it closer, you realize, oh, that's a Seiko. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And I'll be sure to do other videos in the near future. We'll see you next time.